Hello everybody, welcome. It is a glorious Wednesday afternoon. It's nice and sunny. Spring is kicking into full gear over here in Northern California. I am very happy about that. So I had a great message that I want to share my twist of it on with you, because this kind of topic has been talked about throughout the ages, different philosophies, different religions, spiritual texts, whatever. But regardless, I have a twist on it that I think can basically help anybody listening to it here today overcome kind of this issue that can be a very big blockage to us really acquiring a state, a feeling, or a goal, or a new place in our life. It's basically the concept of letting go. Now, this kind of ripples out into a million different areas in our life, or can ripple out into a million different areas in our life, rather. It really is about realizing that sometimes there are things, circumstances in our past life, identities, beliefs, feelings, anger, pain, depression, that we're just holding on to. And it just feels so comfortable to do so, but kind of deep down we really know that it's just self-sabotaging. For me personally, in my journey, I had a lot of anger, I had a lot of sadness, I had a lot of beliefs, all kinds of stuff that, although they really weren't serving me anymore and useful in my life anymore, I just wanted to hold on to them. But of course, we're not going to beat ourselves up because we don't really know any different, and we're not really taught this stuff in school. And until we really have a big wake-up call in life, a spiritual awakening, a near-death experience, whatever, we really don't question this kind of thing anyways. We kind of run on automatic over and over again until something causes us to question this. But of course I believe that life will bring out these kind of experiences to us one way or another eventually. Now, how do we do this? Where do we get started? Because right away I bet a lot of you are starting to think about certain things that you might be angry about, certain jobs that you really just don't like or hate, or people at your work that we're just kind of holding on to as a comfort zone, but realize that it's just fear that's holding us back from bringing in the new life that we want to in the first place. If we realize that, if we understand the problem, then we can kind of move forward from it. So first of all, we have to get into a neutral observer state about our life. Don't get all reactive and too angry, sad, depressed. We just kind of want to, this is with the intention of moving forward, of healing, of growth, of basically letting go. Because I know these things are comforts, they're comfort zones. The anger, the pain, the jobs, religion, belief systems, political association, what have you. But we have to question it and dissect it. I have a lot of different methods to help people overcome these sorts of things. You can, let's say it's a job, for example. It just makes you drained every day. You get home from work, you have to drink, you have to smoke some weed, whatever. It makes you angry, then that anger kind of leaks out into your relationship and ruins that good thing. But we're just, don't know any different. We've got to keep trucking along, numb our feelings and get back to work, because it's a security feeling, it's a comfort. I'm here to tell you today that all of that is just really dangerous and self-sabotaging. And I can tell you that from experience with myself and with many people that I've known that have taken leaps of faith in their life in many different forms to kind of bring in the new life that they really want to. We have to, one method is, I'd say, write a positive and negative aspect list. This is something that I did over and over again when shedding addictions, when shedding anger, when shedding a job that didn't serve me anymore. Write it out. All the positives, all the negatives. Read it every single morning if you have to. And eventually your subconscious mind is just going to feel the truth more and more and more and more. Like, wow, what am I doing to myself? This just doesn't feel right anymore. Because that's what it is about, feeling better in life. If we're living life the right way, we're really wanting to, we should be moving to what feels better, jobs, etc. But a lot of what we think feels better are just short-term comforts rather than long-term investments. Now, at Full Spectrum Wellness, I have a practice and a toolkit to help people understand where in their life they're just kind of holding on to short-term comforts and not sowing the long-term investment kind of seeds. And this is one of them. Using the job again as an example, Let's say you'd really rather be doing what you love in life. You are a sports teacher, a musician, and you're just working at that corporate office job, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, drained as hell by the weekend. Sunday comes along, back to work, you're really not all feeling that relaxed or happy. Only so much money could really buy back that happiness, so what I've learned is you want to kind of do something that really makes you more happy in the long run so you don't have to spend the money to buy back your happiness in the first place, right? So, you have to question yourself, you have to self-analyze yourself, and that's okay. So, of course, when we go down this rabbit hole of questioning our circumstances in life, there may be an ego blow. It might hurt, it might feel like, well, that's who I am. Ha ha! Now that's the grand scheme of it, isn't it? Nobody really put those labels and identities to us but ourselves. We got comfortable with that. We started telling everybody this certain story of what we do and what we like and what we dislike and blah 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 blah. And the more that we did that, the more that we just built up this concrete wall that's harder to break down when we really want to make a change. So, no shame again. This is a practice. We could always start fresh and create the life that you want. Like I said, I've been someone that was very hold on to this and that in the past. So, that's one good step. Write a positive and negative aspects list about that job, because eventually the positives will outdrown it. And you have to really realize that you want long-term happiness in your life, not short-term comfort. It's a trap, I promise you. You can have money and security doing the things that you love or whatever, but of course you have to provide some kind of value in the world too. I learned along my journey. You can't just make necklaces on the side of the road only while living in a really expensive city. No, you might have to do several things to supplement your income. So you have to be also realistic when doing this process, I've learned with myself and others. Okay, so there's a model called Ikigai, I-K-I-G-A-I. Look it up. It's a Japanese concept that says that there's something that everybody can do that they love, that can provide value to the world, that can sustain themselves financially, make them happy at the same exact time. And we all can do that. We just have to shed that fear and find our toolkit of what we're good at that's valuable to the world, right? So let's get started with another suggestion. Meditation, yoga, all those things. We've got to first of all learn how to slow down our brain, because our brain, it can be our biggest bastardizer and sabotager, right? So to add these new perspectives and beliefs, I really suggest adding a meditation practice or even a walking practice in the beginning, because meditation is not easy to do when we're new at it. It's hard to sit with ourselves with all that noise. It's uncomfortable, right? We have to go from distraction to distraction in our life nowadays. But we can start to wean that away and slow it down. It's a conditioning process for your mind, just like an exercise routine. It gets better and better with time and practice, and you can get more and more out of it. So start today, and start with a little bit at a time. You don't want to overload yourself in the gym too much too fast either, right? You need to do a little bit at a time until your body gets conditioned to it. It's the same thing with meditation practices or walking. So, no, you don't have to resist all your thoughts in your brain. You just want to notice them and disidentify them. Learn how to disidentify with your thoughts and beliefs, my friends and family, and it will be your saving grace. They are not who you are. They are who you used to be. It's just a tape playing back on rewind. A tape that you build up, not anybody else. And it's going to keep coming back until you add a new tape in there, right? But we have to slow our brain down in order to do that kind of thing. It's worth it. It's an investment. It's not easy in the beginning, but again, it's about long-term happiness and freedom and peace, not short-term comfort, right? So this is a cultivation practice, and it's worth starting today. I promise you. It will bring you the life that you want. So, again, one thing I want to remind you guys too, that when we are thinking about letting something go, a belief, an identity, a religion, a job, whatever, we have to remember that in this universe, everything is made of energy. And when we let something go, it's always going to be replaced by something else, universally. I promise. Something better, something lighter, something more freeing. But we have to let go of the old weight first. We are always trying to evolve intrinsically and move forward and grow. It's in our own mind many times that keeps us from doing such. We have to realize that growth is a good thing. The ego, the old self, always wants to resist it. Oh, I don't need to change, blah, 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 blah. I love who I am, yada, yada, yada. Now, if you notice that your brain just starts to create all of these beliefs and mindsets to try to hold on, that's a good sign right there, too, that it's something that's probably really not that good for us in the first place. So we can start to shake hands with it, not resist it. I learned this along my journey. You want to shake hands and make peace with those old ways and realize that they served you at some point, and they just may not serve you today, and that's okay. Evolution is a reality. We have DNA, it's who we were, and we have RNA, it's who we're becoming if we choose to, right? So, again, this is all really simply just about feeling better. Oh yeah. I have a third thing. It's basically a practice of forgiveness, compassion, basically realizing that there's going to be an inner struggle that happens when we go through this kind of thing. We're going to want to beat ourselves up. We're going to want to beat up people in our reality possibly. We have to come at this attitude with forgiveness and compassion. Not anger, not aggression, not regret, because again, those just don't feel good. We could choose perspectives all the time that just feel better. A big shout out to Dr. Bruce Lipton and the Biology of Belief. That's a good one. Read it or watch it. So, it's just going to help us move forward energetically into the place that we want to be in our life by just being more forgiving and compassionate to who we were. We don't want to play the shame game. Shame is a really low place and it really doesn't serve anybody, I learned along my journey. We could come at ourselves with a place of forgiveness, compassion, respect. And, look at you like a little kid that didn't really know any better. And that's okay. That's freeing as hell. So do it. I promise you. Some things that can really hold us back that I learned is, well, one, fear. And that kind of fear is at the root of a lot of these things that hold us back. But I guess it's our mind as well. We talked about that. And it's how often we've been chatting about these identities to other people and telling people about it. So, good suggestion when I could call this number 4 too, if we want to list this out. A good suggestion is to stop telling so many people about your journey and your changes and this and that until you really get into the groove of it. Because the more that you tell people these things, it just puts out all these expectations out there and judgments, and that just doesn't feel good. And we just want to keep to ourselves when we're making all these changes in life, because it's going to make the process a whole lot smoother and easier. Now, I also want to say, let's go to number 5. This is just about how it takes the first step to make a change in our life. We have to take the first step of bravery. It takes confidence when moving into a new reality into our life. And it's not easy in the beginning, but I promise you it gets easier and easier and easier with time and practice, just like anything else in life. Choosing a new belief, a new thought pattern, a new point of view. It just gets easier and easier and easier with practice. So whenever making a change in life, remember that it's going to take a step out of our comfort zone, but we have to take that first step. We can't wait to see another person take that step first and then, oh, okay, they did it, let's do it. No, we've got to take the first step of bravery. We have to be the change we want to see in the world. We've all heard that one, right? Over and over again. Well, it's totally true. I've been there. Now, that's the problem with overly, going back to what I said, telling everybody about our business and our life or whatever. It could just cause so much resistance when we want to move forward with these things. Oh yeah, so keep your journey to yourself. Be ready to just move forward and take a little bit of a leap of faith. And I promise each step that you take into new you is going to get easier and easier. I also want to mention that when we're doing this kind of thing, it can kind of seem like a lonely journey, because all those people that we associated with that, let's say if we were a Christian and all of our friends are Christians now, we're going to have to go through a little bit of a lonely path. But that's okay, because what I've learned, everything is vibration in this universe. And when you re-solidify some new beliefs, new perspectives, new mentalities, whatever, you're going to attract new people along that new vibration now. You're going to find new friends that align with your new beliefs, and it's going to feel better. Have we all heard of the term peer pressure? I have. And that basically means that concept is not just about drugs and alcohol. It's about eating crappy food because it's at the table and everybody else is eating it. It's about going to the church because I don't really have a solidified sense of spirituality, but everybody else is doing it, and I'm just going to do that because humans have a need of connection, right? But we can't try to connect over things that don't really vibe with us and then feel at peace at the same time. We sacrifice who we are to try to connect with a crowd. Now that's kind of backwards. We'll be more disconnected in the long run, I learned. It can break you, it can drive you crazy, it can make you want to numb yourself over and over again, right? So it takes a big leap of faith in so many ways because we might lose our crowd. And I want to remind you that that's okay because we'll attract a new crowd over time. But it takes practice with our new beliefs, our new mentalities, and it's just worth it. We've got to remind ourselves that this is a long-term thing. Letting go. Let go of the old beliefs. Let go of the old habits. They're replaced by something better. If we let go of a drug habit or something, we got to replace it with a habit that feels better. Now, evolution really is all about moving into something that feels better versus the long term versus the short term. Something that's going to be sustainable, not unsustainable. Remember, we have to take ourselves with us everywhere we go. We can't be trying to please the crowd every time and just trying to put up an image that might look good to everybody else. Forget that. That just doesn't feel good. We have to sleep with ourselves at night, right? So you got to be okay with your lifestyle, first things first. So don't keep that job because your family, because it's a good status to your family. No, you have to feel good about it, right? Your family's going to be doing their thing. Your friends are going to be doing their thing every night, right? Well, you're trying to maintain this prison of a job, try to please them, to try to maintain a status or whatever. So it is okay to crumble all that down, I promise you. Because something beautiful and brilliant and fun and something that just feels better overall can be built up in that place. I promise. It's worth it. It's healthy. It's freeing. Our spirit is calling for it. I promise. Let go of the false identities. Let go of the false beliefs. They're sticky. They're addicting, right? If we recognize that, we don't want to associate with that anymore. My name is Lewis from Full Spectrum Wellness. I felt guided to share this message with you all today because probably, hopefully, somebody can benefit from it. Much love, much healing, much respect. Best wishes to you all on your journey. Peace.